There are some basic Linux commands that we should all be familiar with. I know personally, as a security analyst, I use many of these day to day on the job, but also outside of work in my own training and learning. So, this video is going to demonstrate a few of those commands that we all should have in our Linux toolbox. So, let's start with PWD, which stands for Print Working Directory. So it's going to show you where you are in the file system. Okay, ls is going to list out. So it's listing out our directories right now. So let's go ahead and create another directory. So I'm going to use make directory and create a scripts directory. And then I'll ls again. And you can see that that directory was added. Okay, what if I want to change directories? So I want to move into a directory, I would use cd. And so now you can see that I'm in the desktop directory. Okay, cd period with the space in between will actually take you back outside it. So I'm going to use the up arrow, move back into my desktop. I'm going to create a file, and I would do that by using touch and then the name of the file. So I'm going to say testfile.txt. If I list that out now, I can see that that file is there. Another command is clear, which will clear our screen. The up arrows are great because you can always go back to look through the commands that you have used if you want to use it again. So I'm going to list out that file again. I am going to move, actually, I'm going to go into that file and write some text. So I could echo it into the file, or I could use Vi or Vim. I'm going to use Vim. Test file, go into that file. So here you can see that we're in a blank file. And in order to begin to write in this file, I would use I, which is for insert. And then I can begin to write in the file. So let's write a few things. This is a test file by. Okay, so to get out of the insert mode, I would hit escape, and then I would hit the colon, which allows me to I'm able to now insert commands. I am going to write this to disk, so I'm going to use the W and then the Q for quit and hit enter. Now, if I want to see what I've written in that file, I can cat it, the cat command. So let's go ahead and do that. And you can see my text is inside that file. Okay, so we've used ls, we've used cat, we've used a make directory. Let's go ahead and we use the touch. Let's go ahead and if you're troubleshooting, sometimes I know personally, sometimes on the job, you'll have to check for network connectivity. A good command for that is the ping command. So ping, let's ping Google, and this is going to show us if we have a network connection. So as you can see, it is going through. I'm going to hit Control C to cancel it. And you can see that all of the 7 packets that were transmitted were received. There was no packet lost. Okay, so this shows me that I do have a network connection. This is good for troubleshooting, diagnosing, testing when you're working with your network. So I'm going to go ahead and clear my screen again. Okay, so another thing is, let's go ahead and list out that file. I am going to use the CP, which will copy a file. You have to indicate which file you want to copy. And let's say I want to name it and copy it file 2. Okay, if I ls, you'll see that file 2 is there. Now if I cat out that file 2, let's do file 2. You can see that it has successfully been copied. Okay, let's say that I want to remove a directory. So I'm going to cd. I want to back out of the desktop. I'm going to list my directories. And I'm actually going to remove the scripts. So you would use rm dir scripts. If I list it out again, you can see it's gone. Another important command is the man command, which is for manual. And so you can use the man command if you're trying to get information about other commands. So let's say we want the manual for ls. We would enter man ls, and this pulls up some of the options that you can use with it. It gives you a short synopsis of what it does. So this is always helpful when you're a bit stuck on which commands to run. So let's go ahead and hit Q for quit, clear our screen. Another helpful command is the chmod command, which is used to modify user or group permissions for a file. So for example, I'm going to change into documents. I have a file test3 in documents. I am going to use ls. L stands for the long listing. A will be all. So this is going to show even the hidden files. So files are typically hidden in Linux by default when they're sensitive files. So system files, application files, it's the security measure to keep from changing those files. But you can see here that I have the test3 text file that I created. And over here, it shows that the user, which is the owner, has read and write permissions. The group has read permissions, and other users have read permissions. Let's say that I want to give this execute permissions. So what I would do is use chmod plus x, the name of the file. And then if I list this out again, you can see that now I can execute that file. It also changes the color. So I'm going to clear this. And to end off, I will go over the sudo command. So sudo is used when you're wanting to use elevated privileges. For example, if I wanted to do an update, I would do sudo apt get update. It's going to ask you for your password for the elevated privileges. And once you've entered it, it will start updating. So those are some of the basic commands for various Linux tasks. These can be used in Linux, Unix, and some of them even can be used in Mac OS systems.